Welcome to the Divine Hangout. I'm your host, Jubilee. It is my intention that when you listen to this podcast, you experience an increase in peace, abundance, and divine miracles in your life experience. If you love all things spirituality, wellness, healing, manifestation, and miracles, you are in the exact right place at the exact right time. Let's enter the portal together. Hello and welcome back to the Divine Hangout. It's Jubilee, and today we're going to get into lesson 1 of A Course in Miracles. But first I am going to read to you the introduction to the workbook. So lesson 1 of 365 lessons. Let's read the introduction. Before I do that, I do want to mention something that I didn't mention prior in the first episode with the introduction to A Course in Miracles, which is that the Course in Miracles never did any advertising. So the way that it has been popularized is all by word of mouth, which is really amazing. So that's just a cool fun fact that I wanted to share. And I will read the introduction and then we'll get into lesson 1 for today's episode. So the introduction to the workbook for students. A theoretical foundation such as the text provides is necessary as a framework to make the exercises in this workbook meaningful. Yet it is doing the exercises that will make the goal of the course possible. An untrained mind can accomplish nothing. It is the purpose of this workbook to train your mind to think along the lines the text sets forth. The exercises are very simple. They do not require a great deal of time, and it does not matter where you do them. They need no preparation. The training period is 1 year. The exercises are numbered from 1 to 365. Do not undertake to do more than one set of exercises a day. The workbook is divided into 2 main sections. The first dealing with the undoing of the way you see now, and the second with the acquisition of true perception. With the exception of the review periods, each day's exercises are planned around one central idea, which is stated first. This is followed by a description of the specific procedures by which the idea for the day is to be applied. The purpose of the workbook is to train your mind in a systematic way to a different perception of everyone and everything in the world. The exercises are planned to help you generalize the lessons so that you will understand that each of them is equally applicable to everyone and everything you see. Transfer of training in true perception does not proceed as does transfer of the training of the world. If true perception has been achieved in connection with any person, situation, or event, total transfer to everyone and everything is certain. On the other hand, one exception held apart from true perception makes its accomplishments anywhere impossible. The only general rules to be observed throughout, then, are first that the exercises be practiced with great specificity, as will be indicated. This will help you to generalize the ideas involved to every situation in which you find yourself and to everyone and everything in it. Second, be sure that you do not decide for yourself that there are some people, situations, or things to which the ideas are inapplicable. This will interfere with the transfer of training. The very nature of true perception is that it has no limits. It is the opposite of the way you see now. The overall aim of the exercises is to increase your ability to extend the ideas you will be practicing to include everything. This will require no effort on your part. The exercises themselves meet the conditions necessary for this kind of transfer. Some of the ideas the workbook presents you will find hard to believe, and others may seem quite startling. This does not matter. You are merely asked to apply the ideas as you're directed to do. You are not asked to judge them at all. You are asked only to use them. It is their use that will give them meaning to you and will show you that they are true. Remember only this: you need not believe the ideas, you need not accept them, and you need not even welcome them. Some of them you may actively resist. None of this will matter or decrease their efficacy. But do not allow yourself to make exceptions in applying the ideas the workbook contains, and whatever your reactions to the ideas may be, use them. Nothing more than that is required. Okay, so that was the introduction. Thank you for listening. And basically, the fastest that you are to complete the workbook is a year, but many people take longer than a year. And with this podcast, I don't know if I made that clear in episode 1, but I'm not posting every day. Once a week is going to be the minimum that I will post. If I'm able to get lessons out quicker than that, I will. I'm not going to commit to posting every day, but once a week minimum. So if you're just following along with me, it's going to take longer. I haven't done the math, but it's 52 weeks in a year. So I might ramp it up later so that it's not like a multiple year undertaking. But as of right now, you can expect 1 episode a week. But let's get into lesson 1 here. Okay, so lesson 1, nothing I see in this room, on this street, from this window, in this place, means anything. Now slowly look around you and practice applying this idea very specifically to whatever you see. This table does not mean anything. This chair does not mean anything. This hand does not mean anything. This foot does not mean anything. This pen does not mean anything. Then look farther away from your immediate area and apply the idea to a wider range. That door does not mean anything. That body does not mean anything. That lamp does not mean anything. That sign does not mean anything. That shadow does not mean anything. Notice that these statements are not arranged in any order and make no allowance for differences in the kind of things to which they are applied. That is the purpose of the exercise. The statement should merely be applied to anything you see. As you practice the idea for the day, use it totally indiscriminately. Do not attempt to apply it to everything you see, for these exercises should not become ritualistic. Only be sure that nothing you see is specifically excluded. One thing is like another as far as the application of the idea is concerned. Each of the first 3 lessons should not be done more than twice a day each, preferably morning and evening, nor should they be attempted for more than a minute or so, unless that entails a sense of hurry. A comfortable sense of leisure is essential. Okay, so that was lesson 1. Another thing I wanted to mention was that the reason that it could take more than a year is because sometimes you can stay with a lesson for longer than 1 day. As you get further into the lessons, the practice periods, they ask you to do different things, like you could use the word affirming, but you're saying them more often. So lesson 1's pretty basic, but as you get further into it, for myself anyway, it could be, that's just a belief, but sometimes you forget to like continue on. And so sometimes I'll be like, okay, I'm going to continue this tomorrow because I felt I didn't do it properly this day. So that's just a side note. Like sometimes people just want to do 1 lesson for more than 1 day, and that's okay. But you're not supposed to do more than 1 lesson in a day. So quickest that it could be done is in a year. That's all I'll say about that. But basically, the lessons might not make sense at first, and that's okay. What the Course in Miracles is a mind training. So it's undoing the thought system of fear and retraining your mind to a thought system based on love. So whether the lessons make sense to you right now or not, it doesn't matter. It's just asking you to practice as it's telling you to do. So just nothing I see in this room means anything. So look around you, practice applying the ideas. Do this practice not more than twice in the day. So happy lesson 1 to you, and I will see you in my next episode. Love you. Goodbye.